What in the world, Bo? What's going on with you, man? It's your boy, Big Low Country. I hope that everybody out there is doing good, feeling great tonight on this Wednesday night, this hump night. For everybody out there that don't know me, my name is Big Low Country. I'm just an old country boy, former football coach that love to sit around and talk about sports. Look here, Bo. You could have been anywhere in the world tonight, but you're here with us, and we definitely and greatly appreciate that. So, first of all, if you're watching the show after we've gone live already and you didn't get a chance to join in on the fun, make sure that you put a what in the world, Bo, in the comment. Also, make sure that you hit that like button and share the channel with your friends and family, and make sure that you hit that subscribe button. Another thing, want to make sure that we show love to everybody out here to showing love to us. So let me go ahead and shout out everybody that's chilling out with the old coach and the coaching staff tonight. Kane in here, he says the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are not sleeping on the Atlanta Falcons. The South is wide open. I look forward to the contest. Go NFC South and go Bucks. See, that's what I'm talking about, Bo. You gotta love it, man. Coaching staff, love is real. DA said, "Let them sleep, coach." I love flying under the radar. There you go, Bo. You already know what time it is. Right man in here says, "What in the world, Bo?" Hey man, I hope you're doing good. Mr. T Money, he says it's because you don't have no quarterback and no pass. Well, we can show you way better than we can tell you, Mr. T Money. You gonna see. The whole world gonna see. But to cushion, what in the world, Bo? What's going on, Monty? Hope you're doing good tonight, fam. Hope you're doing good tonight. Look, want to make sure that everybody get a chance to kind of chill out with us, wait for everybody to come on in. Yeah, I know old Coach Lowe, I'm a big Lil Wayne fan. You know, I don't know if y'all heard I'm Me, one of my favorite Lil Wayne songs. He had this iconic line. It says, last year they had the Grammys, they left me in Miami, sleeping on your boy like I'm rapping in my jammies. They sleeping on the Atlanta Falcons right now, Bo. They sleeping on the Atlanta Falcons. They talking about us like we playing in our jammies, Bo. Like we playing in our jammies. Shouts out to y'all, man. Shouts out to Grandizer. Appreciate you sharing the content. Where everybody can get in contact with us at. John Brooks, Monty said they didn't hit that like button, Bo. But yeah, man. Now look, before we even get the show started off, I want to go ahead and tell y'all something now. I'm just letting y'all in. And this is for everybody's watching live and everybody who's gonna be watching later on. If you see me licking my lips, a whole bunch, I'm not trying to do an LL Cool J impression. I'm not trying to do it. The old country boy got Invisaligns, so I'm still trying to get used to it's like braces, like see-through braces. So I'm still trying to get used to the whole, you know, feeling in my mouth. So if it look like if I'm looking kind of funny, look, old coach ain't on nothing. I'm just trying to get used to the Invisalign. So I just want to let y'all know what's going on. If you see me licking my lips a lot, I'm not trying to be LL Cool J. You know, uh, that will fit. Well, LL Cool L, ladies love Cool Low. It's just one of those situations where we're trying to get used to these Invisaligns. Um, let's see, Coach Ronnie in here. She says, just one more. Okay, let her know that we were running late. Oh, Coach Ronnie put the link up for the short. I accepted the Anthony Richardson challenge, so make sure that y'all check the short out. Um, as we're on the quest to be QB1 for the Atlanta Falcons. But shouts out to Dexter Vlash. Much love to you. Tied in here, he says they sleeping because we got a rookie quarterback, Bo. That's really going his second year, Bo. He going the second year. So I mean, we can't say that it's one of those situations where he's a rookie. He's been through the whole process of a year in training camp, a year through OTAs, through played in a few games, played in preseason. Yeah, he done seen it, Bo. Ray Fitty in here. What in the world, Bo? What in the world, Coach? Glad to be part of the coaches meeting tonight. Why, we're glad to have you, Coach. We're glad to have you. Douglas Farrington says, like Desmond Ritter said, let's go to work. He's speaking facts for my favorite. Hey, you already know, Doug. You already know. Ghost Pepper's in here. What in the world, Bo? Dante Spade says, Bo, let those haters hate because they know they scared of our Falcons. Well, look, if they ain't scared, they finna be scared. So shouts out to my homeboys. First of all, Rashad and Dave. Shouts out to them. They just reached 20,000 subscribers on YouTube. So shouts out to my bros. But one of the reasons why we decided to have this as the title is because it's one of those things where I had to show my boy some love on Twitter today. And of course I had to take a dig. I was like, man, congratulations to my boys, 20,000 subscribers. Then I followed it up with, in parentheses, y'all still ain't finna win the division. And, we had it shouts out to my bro in there. I talk to him on Twitter all the time that commented. He was like, well, coach, this how the division gonna pan out. Panthers, Saints, Atlanta Falcons, Buccaneers. I was like, ugh, below the Saints. The Saints gonna be looking up lemon laws in Louisiana in about 5 to 6 months. So I mean, above below the Saints, really? You know, somebody mentioned, they said, "Hey, we got a rookie quarterback." I mean, they're gonna legit have a rookie quarterback in Carolina. So once again, I go back to it. Why not us? Molly Mall's here hating his heart out. He says, I'm dead sleep on the Falcons. You can see Molly Mall. You need to keep that hate out your heart, Molly Mall. And look, you might see me sipping on the substance throughout the show. I do want to let y'all know, if you're watching while we're live right now, or if it's later on, what's in my cup is in my cup. It might be water, it might be moonshine. But if you see me smiling, that just means I'm happy to see you. I just hope it don't melt the plastic in the Invisaligns, Coach Ronnie. That's what that's what I'm hoping. RC Plain Bitter, what's going on, Bo? Much love to you. Hope you're doing good. Shane Elliott's in here tonight. Much love, Shane. Dan, much love to you. What in the world, Bo? Hope you're doing good. Hope you're doing good. Reggie, says, what in the world, Bo? Number 9. You already know. You already know, man. Ghost Peppers, he said, hey, Coach Ronnie, Ghost Pepper says that cartwheel I did after that throw, 10 out of 10, Coach Ronnie. So, yes, I appreciate that, Bo. I appreciate it. He's referring to the short that we did. I accepted the Anthony Richardson challenge. So, shouts out to Anthony Richardson. I'm just trying to be a great quarterback like him. But look at here, man. I'm going to tell you something. The conversation that we're having tonight, if you ever been in the corporate world, we do we do the 5 whys, right? We're trying to figure out exactly why this is happening. Why, and we continue to ask why until we get like the most basic of answers, right? So why are the Atlanta Falcons slept on? It's not just this year. We've seen it happen multiple years, right? But why are the Atlanta Falcons slept on this year where, they made strides? So, feel free to comment, if it's during this live show or if it's later on. I want y'all to let me know, why do you feel like the Atlanta Falcons were slept on this 2023 season? We know why we've been slept on before. You couldn't really take us seriously. We were like the New Orleans Saints are this year. We were driving aimlessly around 285, trying to get some serviceable players. But now, now here we are. We're at a point where, hey, we're trying to build a team, and we're building the team the right way, putting talent all across the board. Why are we not taken seriously now? So, that's just something we're going to talk about. False Start Falcon with the first Superman chat of the night. He says, Coach, I walked in that Jiffy Mix warehouse today to pick up, and I couldn't stop laughing. He said, I got a truckload if you need it. Hey, boy, you better come on through here. You better slide on through. Go on through here, Ghost Pepper. False Start Falcon. I need some of that Jiffy cornbread mix, bro. You say you got truck. I don't need a couple of pallets. That's all I need. Dun, dun, dun. That's a Superman chat. Oh, man. Grant Out says, Coach Lowe, no offense. But that red shirt that you got on, kind of looking like our favorite Kool-Aid character. Oh, yeah. Oh, man. Brandon Levy's in here. I'm pretty sure he got the scissors with him. He says, no quarterback coach, rookie head coach, rookie GM, history of hey, I mean, look, and that's a good why, coach. That's legit a good why. Last year, I mean, we didn't have a quarterback. I mean, Marcus Mariota, he filled the roster, but we didn't have a quarterback. Let's be honest. So I mean, it's one of those situations where, Arthur Smith, he made some mistakes. He made some mistakes whenever he was coaching last year. I felt like, to be completely honest with you, I felt like he did a better head coaching job his first year than he did his second year. But you got to figure things out, right? What's going on, Coach Jerry? I see you in here. Connor B's in here. He says Ritter, hanging from 4 to 9 is better than we think. We got to do whatever we can do, or whatever we can, to make him comfortable and happy. And look, I think Desmond Ritter, to be completely honest with you, what's going on, Ramsey Ward? What in the world, beloved? I think Desmond Ritter is the last of our concerns, which is what you want for your starting quarterback, right? You don't want any issues. For example, let's say Deshaun Watson. Deshaun Watson, I mean, we know he had his past transgressions. He is allegedly, hey, the guys you listen to, Coach Roder, allegedly, you know. But the thing is that it's one of those situations where he set out a whole year because he just wanted to get paid, right? Lamar Jackson, I mean, he just said, I mean, and I'm not knocking anybody who want to get paid. I want to get paid myself. But the thing about Desmond Ritter is, he doesn't cause no fuss. He doesn't cause any drama. And this might just be from somebody who manages people myself, or has managed people myself. It's like, hey, I just need you to do what you need to do, and everything else will take care of itself. In the words of Lil Wayne, let it all work out. So I mean, you definitely got a point in that regard, my brother. Jerry says, what's good, Big Low? What in the world, man? What in the world, Bo? We trying to make it, Bo. We trying to make it. I'm like I said, earlier, old coach, I got some Invisalign, some braces. So if you see me licking my lips, I'm not trying to, you know, look seductive. It's I'm just trying to get used to everything. Brandon Levy says, all Ritter got to do is, man, exactly. That's all he got to do. That's all he got to do. You know, I was just chilling out with Mike and John at Out of Your Falcon Mind, and they asked me to give my bold prediction for this season, right? And I said, hey, I don't see why Desmond Ritter can't be a Pro Bowl player. I mean, I just went ahead and threw it out there. I said, I don't see why he can't be a Pro Bowl player. Think about it. I mean, just like Brandon Levy says, if he manages the game, and if he could keep the interceptions down below 10, he manages the game effectively. I don't see why Tyler Huntley went to the Pro Bowl last year. And I know he was a substitute player, but I mean, Tyler Huntley went to the Pro Bowl last year. So yeah, I mean, I could definitely see it happening. If y'all feel like Desmond Ritter could make it to the Pro Bowl, and I know that I might be getting out above my skis, old coach might be unbuttoning his shirt a little bit and getting naked. But if you feel like Desmond Ritter can make it to the Pro Bowl this year, put a 1 in the chat. If you feel like it's one of those cases where I'm doing too much, put the 2 in the chat. I just want to know what y'all think. 3:30, you already know, man. What in the world, bro? We ready. You already know. You already know. Chai's in here. He says if Ritter gets caught in a massage parlor, we X for real. Man, I don't think Ritter's gonna get caught in a massage parlor, bro. I don't think it's gonna happen. Jerry J says Atlanta Rams, really? Atlanta Falcons colors on Rams logo? Sad, very sad, man. Come on, bro. Dixon Ways in here. What in the world, bro? What's going on with your fam? Hope you're doing good tonight, man. Body's in here. He says, hey man, I told y'all Terry was cooked. Hey man, I can't knock him, man. Terry, baby, doing this thing. He doing this thing. Everybody's asking me, what do I think the Falcons should do in regards to the draft? And I kind of related it to whenever you get to that point in life where you're financially secure enough where you don't have to pay bills manually. You could just put the bill on auto pay. That's about where I'm at with 00504. That's what I was calling them 2 years ago. But now I'm just like, hey, Terry, plug and play. Whatever you want to do, I'm cool with it. You know what I'm saying? There's a video that got like 18,000 views whenever we drafted Drake London last year. It gave me a headache. Blood pressure went up. I was like, oh man, what's going on? But as of right now, I don't think it's a bad pick. We see how this team is getting built. He addressed the needs, and I feel like at this point in time, he's put this team together so well where we're going to be addressing wants. So I mean, we're just going to see how it goes. False Falcon says Mac Jones went. Mac Jones went, and he's getting. They said he's on the trading block now, Coach Ronnie. So I mean, yeah, yeah, Mac Jones. Yeah, exactly. So don't be surprised if it's one of those cases where whenever the NFL draft comes, Mac Jones might be one of those guys who get moved around. You never know. I wouldn't be surprised if he don't get traded to a team like Tennessee, especially since Vrabel and Belichick have a previous relationship. Seems like Tennessee then kind of moved on from the whole Malik Willis experiment. I think that was kind of quick. I heard rumors about Hendon Hooker. So I mean, we're gonna see how it goes. Brian Peoples in here. What in the world, Bo? I see you, Bo. I see you. So let's see Melvin. He says he feels like Ritter can be a Pro Bowl player this year. Dixon Way, he says 2. He says pineapples. He don't like it. He don't see it happening. Dred's in here. He says, hey, coach of staff, my family. What's going on, Dred? Hope you're doing good, family. Coach Brandon Levy, he says 2. He said he don't think it's gonna happen. Rockman, he says 1. He says he can see it happening. Miss B says, what up, coach? He says 2. Y'all expecting too much. Dres Latimer, Keith, they say 1. They feel like Desmond Ritter could be a Pro Bowl player. Let's see. False Start Falcon says if you stand out first rate Desmond Ritter's numbers throughout an entire season from that 4-game sample that we had 3,500 yards, 25 plus touchdowns. Come on, bro. I mean, you're right. Molly Boss said, Big Low, you licking your lips because you're trying to bring out your inner LL Cool J. Come on, Molly Boss. Come on. Ghost Pepper says 2. He says he don't see it happening. Mandy 8 says 2. He's still a rookie. Ain't no need in even trying it. Keith, what's going on, Coach Keith? He says 1. He can see it happening. Body Bagum says, forget Pro Bowl, just getting them W. You know what? You ready. You ready, Bo. You ready. Yes. It's one of those situations. We definitely need to just get these dubs. Yeah, we definitely need to get these dubs. So I mean, it's one of those situations. Sean, he says, shouts out Sean. Let's see here. But Miss B, he also agrees. He said, who cares about the Pro Bowl? That's an individual accomplishment. It don't necessarily mean you get your team to a Super Bowl. And I agree with you. It's one of those situations where that is an individual accomplishment, Miss B. And the thing is that the system that Desmond Ritter is in right now, if he does put up Pro Bowl or close to Pro Bowl numbers, because everything else is around him, for the most part, that will give you a whole lot better of a chance to get to a Super Bowl, because we seen last year what the subpar quarterback play looked like, right? Now moving forward, we want to make sure that we kind of put ourselves in the best situations all the way around. And Brian Peoples, he sums it up beautifully. The Pro Bowl is a popularity contest at the end of the day. It's all about it's getting to the point now who does the gritty the best. Mac Jones had to go hit his little gritty. Who does the gritty the best? At the end of the day, Desmond Ritter, he ain't worried about all that. He's just trying to get these championships. Wallace, what's going on, Coach Wallace? See you in here. He says, "What's going on, Coach Low? What we missed so far? You ain't really missed too much. Basically, I just want to come on here and ask the question. I want to ask everybody, why is everybody sleeping on the Atlanta Falcons? I don't know if y'all seen. They put out a ranking of the top GMs in the league right now. Terry Fontenot was at the bottom of the list. And I'm sitting here like, why was he so low? Whenever he's done so much. Has anybody thought about this? And this kind of goes hand in hand with the conversation that we're having. Has anybody thought about this? Is that whenever Terry Fontenot came here, the guys at the top of our salary cap with the biggest hits, they're not on the team anymore. The Julio Joneses, the Matt Ryans, the Deion Jones. Has anybody thought about this? Julio Jones, Matt Ryan, Deion Jones are not on a roster as of today. Has anybody thought about that? That's something that you definitely have to keep in mind. So moving forward, I'm looking at a Troy Anderson and I'm looking at a Deion Jones. I'm sliding with Troy Anderson. I'm looking at a Desmond Ritter and I'm looking at a Matt Ryan. Matt Ryan's done a lot for the organization. Matt Ryanites, please don't come for me. But you look at Matt Ryan last year, he wasn't worth $40 million. He wasn't worth $50 million. If you compare that to the value that you're getting in a Desmond Ritter for $1.5 million, I'm going with Desmond Ritter. Drake London, Julio Jones. When does Julio Jones play? Julio Jones play as much as it snows in Atlanta. And so you can see that it's one of those situations. All three of those guys aren't on rosters, and this team got turned around. So that's why I go back to the whole point of why are people sleeping on the Atlanta Falcons? I think, and this might be a why, like I said, we're asking the 5 whys tonight. I think it's going to be one of those situations where people are just thinking about the past. They don't understand that this Atlanta Falcons team is built differently now. And I know we've said this in the past. Y'all know we went through the brotherhood phase. We went through the embrace the suck phase. We went through the phase where nobody really said nothing. When Arthur Smith first got here, and it was like, oh yeah, let's call it we still plan on going to the playoffs. We're not tanking phase. So it's one of those cases where we've gone through the different phases. Now, like, look, bump all these phases. Let's go through a consistent winning phase. It don't got to be named nothing, right? It don't got to be the dirty bird phase, the grits blitz phase, run and shoot phase. It don't got to be none of that. Let's just go through we just winning consistently phase. I think that's the direction that we're going in. Molly Mall says y'all have an easy schedule. If so, y'all still see Molly Mall. You need to keep that hate out your heart. I don't believe in the whole we have an easy strength of schedule because the NFL is full of parity. Y'all probably heard me say this for the last 3 years, as long as I've been doing YouTube. The NFL is full of parity. So it's one of those cases where moving forward, for example, I don't know, who was the team that was the Houston Texans were just terrible last year. Who's to say they don't come out this year and be legit? Everybody was counting them off as an easy win. Now here we are. We play the Houston Texans in week 10 and they're 8-2. You see what I'm saying? So I don't believe in the whole easy schedule joint. Brandon Levy says Ritter, he's in a good position. He has weapons. He's smart and he's a winner. Yeah, that's why we call him Desmond Winner, right? I thought that was the thing. Desmond Winner. That's what we going with. but yeah, he's definitely in a good spot. Doug's in here. Doug says, right, the easiest schedule, those fumbles always mess us up. And that need to stop for my team. Yeah, man. Yeah. Those are just small. Shaka, what you doing? Those are just those are just small mistakes that consistently happen. Totally right. Says Big Low, what's popping? How's that business trip on New York? And what's up with Julio and this crew? Tell him it's time. It's time for him to retire and be a full-time business. Totally right. I don't know what you're talking about, Bo. We know how you be living with Julio Jones. You ain't gotta rub it in. Um, let's see. Tony Wright says, Alo, you said know that Hennessy, cognac, and Cristal. Wow. Wow. I couldn't even spell Cristal for you if I had to, bro. Wilder Smith says, with the two trades we made with getting John New Smith and Jeff Okuda, we have 7 picks in this year's draft. You got 7 picks. You got to say, if I'm not mistaken, I think you got 5 picks in the top 4 rounds. I mean, look, you're good to go. Miss B says he's low because he got to start winning first, and I agree with you. I agree with you. She's talking about Terry Fontenot. He was low on the list of NFL GMs, and I agree with you. It's one of those situations where he gotta win games. The team has to win consistently. So it's like, why go through all these different phases? But I guess the thing is that we just have to. We got to crawl out of this hole ourselves. And I hate to go in coaches mode, but it's one of those situations, guys. We have to, prove to them what we are, or in the words of Desmond Ritter, we don't even really care about what they think about us because we know what we are, right? We need to follow the example of our quarterback, unless it's Big Low country. Big Ball Daddy says, "What's up, Big Low? Tennessee Balls, biggest fan here. Not sure if I found or how I found you, but I did a while ago, and I'm here. And here I am. Okay, well, look, man, I appreciate you chopping it up with us, man. And good luck to you balls this season coming up. And man, I don't know what's gonna happen, with your boys with High and the Hooker. I definitely could see them having some successful careers moving forward. They just got to be in the right situation." Brandon Levy said, "Nah, man. Deion Jones, he's not in Cleveland no more. He's a free agent. His season last year was underwhelming. If I'm not mistaken, I think he got 1 interception, and I don't think that's nothing. I remember looking at that play. It wasn't something that he just did greatly. If he had a glimmer of hope of like being close to the guy that he was in 2017, he would have been on the roster. Deion Jones is, I mean, once again, I go back to it. Those top 3 guys that aren't on the roster anymore, that goes to show where the Atlanta Falcons were at. And I feel like that's why people weren't taking us seriously, because the guys who were at the top of our roster, they aren't even on a team now. Think about that. I'm not sure exactly how much money was dedicated to him, because Julio Jones, he was pulling 20 million. Matt Ryan was pulling 30, 40, 50 million. And then Deion Jones, he was pulling like 15 million. Shoot, you talking about a good 60, 70, 80 million dollars. And those 3 guys, and now here they aren't even on a roster now. So those are things that we got to take into effect, or that we got to take into account, because it's while we're changing the way the league and the rest of the NFL and other NFL fans think about us, we're also going to be changing the way that we think about ourselves. Yes, consistent winning phase. That's all I want to do, Brandon. One Day Famous in here. What in the world, Bo? I see you in here, Bo. Hope you doing good, fam. Yes, playoff games in the bins phase. Yes, that's what we want. Playoff games in the bins. That's what we want. And that's right, Big Bob. There's no such thing as an easy NFL schedule, because I'm going to tell you something. You run up against those Texans. I mean, you seen like the Texans, they weren't that bad last year. So if you come into this year, if they get a competent quarterback, I can see the Texans actually trading for a quarterback. I mean, Trey Lance is up for trade. I mean, I don't know if anybody heard, but instead of going after a CJ Stroud, because it looks like Bryce Young is just the guy, I can see the Texans making a trade for a quarterback. That could definitely happen. Doug says the Eagles are going to cry, and so is Marcus the traitor. Oh man, you already know, man. You already know. Big Valdez says, FYI, I'm a Cardinals fan, so I'm well versed in sucking. Well, the thing is, though, Big Ball, is that whenever y'all think about this, going into last season, everybody thought y'all were on the way. You know, Kyler Murray, the season before last, Kyler Murray showed out a little bit. Y'all had DeAndre Hopkins, and y'all had JJ Watt the year before last, and made up some key pickups, and everybody was like, "Oh man, the Cardinals." And the thing is, y'all were taken seriously. The question is, why can't the Atlanta Falcons be taken seriously? Because I mean, and maybe it's a popularity contest, right? I don't know if anybody's ever seen like the TikToks or things like that. Whenever um I don't know if anybody's ever seen the TikToks or things like that. Whenever it's like you know, two kids are in a rap battle at the schoolhouse, and the unpopular kid comes with bars. I mean, he's kicking a straight cipher, and then you know the 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 popular kid hits you with some little pump bars. Gucci gang, Gucci gang, Gucci gang. There's like everybody. Oh man! Oh, I mean, maybe that's the case. Maybe it's one of those situations where it's like we're just not the popular team. Now, I can tell you, what's that called, right? The popular kid. Oh, come on, man. Gucci gang, Gucci gang, Gucci gang. Like, okay, like. But yeah, Brandon, you said Austin Hooper, he team hopping too. Yeah, there's a lot of those guys who were fixtures on our team who they're just not. I mean, they're going all over the place now. But I mean, so I mean, maybe that popularity aspect of it comes into play too. I mean, I remember after 2016 and the Atlanta Falcons were on their redemption tour, after losing the Super Bowl, a lot of people took us seriously, but you got to think it was also because, you had a Julio Jones, you had the Matt Ryans, you had Calvin Ridley, you had, all of these different, well, yeah, Calvin Ridley came 2018, but you had all of these different guys, and people took us a little bit more seriously. I mean, now it's like you look at, this team is like everybody's like, well, where's the star power? I mean, who are we supposed to look at and be like, oh man, this guy moves the needle for me? AJ Terrell. I mean, AJ Terrell's a great player, but he's not people. And the crazy thing is, I would say AJ Terrell is up there with Jalen Ramsey, but is he as popular as Jalen Ramsey? No, right? I mean, so who's supposed to be Kyle Pitts? We don't know. People hadn't seen enough of Kyle Pitts. The last time we seen Kyle Pitts kill the league, just go in and just wreck things, was 2 years ago with a different quarterback. So we don't know what Kyle Pitts is, right? We know, I ain't gonna say that. We know what Kyle Pitts is, but the rest of the league and other fans of the league don't know who Kyle Pitts is. So I mean, it's just one of those things. As of right now, we don't have the star power. So Tyler Algier quietly had 1,000-yard season last year. Everybody's like, "Oh man, we need to draft another running back." But I'm sitting here like, well, y'all just throwing Tyler Algier y'all just throwing him in the trash can. Remember, one man's trash is another man's treasure. Just remember that. So, I mean, is it one of those situations where, hey, we just don't have the star power? We don't have the, kind of like on the Dallas Cowboys. We don't have the Michael Parsons guys. We don't have the Dak Prescott's, well, formerly Ezekiel Elliott, CD Lambs. You see what I'm saying? I mean, is that the case, or we know that over the years it's been one of those situations where you know we just haven't been a popular team. Before this run with Matt Ryan, the last time we were very popular was when Michael Vick was here. Now, were we very good? But we were popular. Gucci gang, Gucci gang, Gucci gang. That's what we was. Before that, Jamal Anderson. So I mean, it might be one of those situations. Um, Big Ball Daddy says, does low coach ball? My Cardinals missed their window with Kingsbury. I think it was a huge mistake letting them go. Man, you gotta blame your quarterback on that one, Big Ball Daddy. I don't know what's going on down there in Arizona, but bro, it's like Kingsbury is a good coach. I don't know what's going on, man. Rodney Reeves is in here. He says, all we needed was to get Grady some help on the line, and we got it. Add a nice ER in our D bout. Okay. Okay. Oh, edge rusher. Okay. I got you. I was like, man, we going to the mercy room? I got you, Rod. I got you. Poncho, what in the world, Bo? Yes, sir. And we about to eat. You're right. You're right. You got guys like so now you got guys like a Calais Campbell. And, Calais Campbell, he was always one of those guys, in my opinion. I was like, well, dang, why is it this guy getting more notoriety? He's 6'8", 280 pounds. Whenever he stands up, he blocks out the sun. Why is this guy getting more, I mean, and the crazy thing is he got a lot of notoriety, but it's like, it seems like this guy should be a little bit bigger of a deal, right? And I remember whenever he came to the Falcons, everybody was like, man, he came to the Falcons? It's one of those things. Body Bagum says Drake London is man. He's definitely looking like he's gonna do some big things. You see those last 4 games last year with Desmond Ritter. I mean, he was racking them up. He was racking them up. I mean, I hate to say this, especially in front of Coach Rooney. But Drake London might be that fantasy pick 'em next year, Bo. He might be that guy. Coach Dre's in here. He says, "Low, we ain't never been a popular team, but I've been saying it for years. A lot of our haters are really R. Kelly fans. They trapped in the closet." Oh man, JDA Sports are here. He says, "Do you see the Falcons trading up in the second round? If Jordan Addison falls to the second, you know what, Bo? I'm gonna be completely honest with you. It's we legit don't know. We legit don't know. I could see us, instead of trading up like we have done multiple times in these last few years. I can see us trading back, and kind of getting some of those additional second round picks. But I don't see us trading up that much this year. Trish Dad said, "Big Low, what in the world, Bo? We about to surprise a lot of people this year, Bo. Got my popcorn. This is our year. Falcons Nation rise up. You already know, man. You already know. Got ATLGA faithful in the house. That's right, man. Much love to you." He said he finally caught a live, man. Hey, man, you already know, bro. You already know. You already know. But yeah, I mean, so it's like I mean, that's the question. The question is, why aren't we taking seriously? I think another reason why we're not taking seriously, and some people say that it might be controversial, this particular take, and you know, I'm sure we got people in here from all around the country. If you're from a different place other than Georgia, let me know where you're watching from. And this isn't just the people that are watching with us live now, but the people who are watching, after we've gone live. I'm sorry, what's in my cup is in my cup. It might be water, might be moonshine, but another thing that we need to take in consideration And like I said, this might be controversial. I feel like people hate on the Atlanta Falcons. I mean, not the Atlanta Falcons. I feel like people hate on Atlanta, right? It's like Atlanta's this booming metropolis where a lot of people, are successful, you know, uh, sometimes illegally and legally. But Atlanta's this booming metropolis, and I feel like it's one of those cases where people look at the people who live in Atlanta from the outside looking in and say, "Man, I don't like them. They too flashy. They go to the strip club too much. They, you know, they got too many Dodge Chargers and Hellcats." It's like, I feel like from the outside looking in, people want to see us lose, and that I might be wrong. Maybe I'm just looking too deep into it, but I definitely could be wrong in that regard. Body Bagel said, "Nah, Vic was popular. It wasn't the Falcons. It was just Vic. You played Madden 04 back in the day, and you be like, man, who you finna get? Man, I'm finna get Vic. Like, nah, you ain't finna get the Falcons? I'm finna get Vic." That's the only reason they played with the Falcons. Madden 04. This is the name that came to alter the game. Like, what in the world? Western Kentucky. Poncho says he's here from Western Kentucky. One Day Famous says he's chilling out from Florida. Much love to you, fam. Coach Wallace, he says, Tony Wright, I don't see a sign in Yannick Ngakwe because outside linebacker and D tackle room is deep. This is the deepest we've been. Woo. Man, Kenneth said he's still not with us from Tennessee. Rodman said he's still not with us from Kentucky. Much love to you. Much love to you. Trish Daddy says, I'm from Greenwood, South Carolina, Bo. See that Bo sounds authentic. South Carolina, I hear you. Granddaughter says, when Big Low goes to the dentist, the doctor asks Big Low to examine his teeth. Hashtag perfect teeth. I don't know about that. I went to the dentist, and the dentist said, hey, Bo, you figure mouth. If y'all don't know what figure mouth means, that's an old country term for you got a whole bunch of crooked teeth. Jay says, what up, beloveds? How y'all beloveds doing and feeling on this hump night, beloveds? Hello, what's going on, Dre? Much love to you, fam. Much love to you. Yeah, man. I mean, so make sure that you let me know, like, what reason do you feel like people are sleeping on the Atlanta Falcons? They sleeping on us like we playing in our jammies, Bo. I mean, I just don't understand what it is. Body Backham says they don't hate on us, they don't respect us, because all we do is choke. I mean, and I see where you're coming from in that regard. JDA Sports says, Big Low, what's your guess on the status of Ritter on passing touchdowns, passing yards, completion percentage, and yards? I can see Desmond Ritter getting 4,000 yards, 30 touchdowns, under 10 interceptions. Easy, easy, easy. I say 63% completion rate. I could definitely see that happening. Ah, man, Antonio, man, see, you just caused my anxiety to go off, bro. He says, Coach Low, off topic, thoughts on the Hawks, man. It's looking like they're gonna have to be some changes for them Hawks, bro. I just don't know. I don't know what's going on with the Atlanta Hawks, man. I mean, it's hard to watch. It's tough. It's tough. Coach Wilder says, Coach Lowe, what do you think about us drafting a safety from Illinois, Sidney Brown, in the third round? You know what? I was actually checking up on him. Um, I don't know if we'll take him because I can see us keeping Jalen Hawkins, and then Richie Grant and Jesse Bates are gonna run things. Um, I feel like Jesse Bates is gonna be on top most of the time. I feel like Richie Grant is gonna be running some of that big nickel. I just don't see him taking a safety in the third round. I think they might wait a little bit and take one a little bit later, or even an undrafted guy, or roll with somebody that's currently on the roster. But you know, it's You never know, man. You never know with this regime. You never know with this regime. Travis Young in here, he says Glanville or Dion started the new look ATL. Man, too legit, bro. Too legit. Oh yeah. Desmond Ritter going off. He going off. He going off. Mafia says they want us to be punching bags. Man, I don't know what it is. It's like it's definitely weird. It's weird because whenever people whenever people see that you are a Falcons fan, it's like they want to pick on us. I'm like, well, and I told my family this one day because they kind of made me upset. I told them I was like, you know, seems like as a fan, you should admire me. That sounded kind of narcissistic, didn't it? I was like, seems like as a fan, you should admire me because it's like I've I've been with my team through the lowest of lows. So it's like, you know, you're not really a fan of one particular team. You know, uh, you know, I love my Coach Roy. I gotta call you daddy out. I'm sorry. I love my father-in-law. I love my father-in-law, but man, he changed teams like people change draws. You know, he got almost every jersey in his closet. He got Raiders, Packers. And then it's like if the Packers looking like they might be having a chance to make a deep playoff run, you be like, man, I've been riding with the Packers since 1982. I've been riding with the Packers. I'm from Michigan. Like, okay. Like, I ride with the Packers in the '90s when Andre Rison was there. I went to school with Andre Rison. That's my homeboy. Okay, I hear you. I hear you. And then, let's say the Raiders are making a run. Like, man, I've been riding with the Raiders ever since Bo Jackson. Bo Jackson Raiders, that's my squad. Like, okay, all right. So that's two. All right. Tom Brady goes to Tampa Bay. Like, man, I gotta ride with Tom. He played at Michigan. I'm from Michigan. Well, dang. Okay, that's three. 2016, 2017, Falcons go to the Super Bowl. You're like, man, well, I gotta represent the home team. I was here in Atlanta when everything started popping out. Like, okay, that's four. All right. Okay. Los Angeles Rams. Man, shoot. I had it. Jerry Curl like Eric Dickerson back in the 80s. Well, dang, bro. Like, who do you not like? So it's just one of those situations, man. I said, hey, man, at the end of the day, y'all should have respect for people who pick a team and stick with them. Rashad, what in the world, Bo? What's going on with your fam? Jermaine Johnson, he just here laughing. J Ma, what's going on with you, man? Hope you're doing good tonight, fam. Coach Wild says, Coach Lowe, Coach Nelson do like to run with three safeties in that big nickel. Yes, sir. Yes, he does. Yes, he does. Which may be a reason why they might go ahead and draft that next guy, because you want to make sure that you had depth. That's one thing that this Atlanta Falcons team is doing this season. They're making sure that they're not in the situation like they were last year where they didn't have the depth. So that's huge. That's huge. Let's see here. Um, let's see. Brandon D says, born and raised in New York. I've been an Atlanta Falcons fan since playing Pop Warner in the mid. Well, much love to you, fam. Appreciate that. Definitely appreciate that. Definitely. Let's see here. Cursor Q says, uh, they know we done figured out how beneficial it is not to overpay a quarterback. Um, Scared the rest of the league will copy suit. And that is true. Now, I don't know if y'all seen the deal. I don't know if y'all seen the deal where Jalen Hurts got this massive contract, but did y'all see the cap number? Jalen Hurts ain't making no more than $30 million a year. They got that thing. They got that thing figured out where Jalen Hurts is always going to have a competitive team, for the rest of this contract, which is, you can't beat it. You can't beat it. Totally right. He's just here laughing. Oh man, Melvin in here laughing. I'm assuming y'all laughing at Coach Ronnie Daddy. Oh man. Brandon D says, best logo by far too. You talk about that Falcons logo? Man, you gotta love that Falcons logo. Got to love that Falcons logo. Best helmet in the league. Travis Jones says, I feel you, Big Low. I'm a Saints fan, and we wore bags on our heads. Y'all need to trade into the top 5 and snatch up CJ to build around him, or go get some bags. Oh man, CJ, he's a bad man. We look as Falcons fans, and I'm sure some Falcons fans or UGA fans, like CJ had us kind of worried, in that college football playoff game. So I mean, CJ, he's that dude. I know some people said they're worried about him reading defenses, but I mean, for the most part, he picked the best defense in the nation. Until Marvin Harrison Jr. got hurt. So, hey, I'm not mad. I'm gonna be completely honest with you. I'm kind of hoping, that the Panthers don't take C.J. Stroud, and that might be a hot take, but I'm kind of hoping that they don't take him. Poncho says, "How you feel about Jack Campbell?" Boy, I love Jack Campbell. I love him. Just imagine, because they said that we're possibly going to be running, at 3-4. I mean, we're going to be running multiple front sets, but if you got 2 big linebackers, middle linebackers, or inside linebackers that can move around, I mean, you can't beat it. Jack Campbell, that could be your cover linebacker. He could play that strong side, and you know, Troy Anderson, he could just fly around sideline to sideline. I mean, that's the best way to go, Bo. Best way to go. I would love him. I don't feel like he's gonna make it to the second round. I feel like somebody's gonna take him in the first round. He's too good of a player. What's going on, Hunt? He says, I'm tired of being the butt of every football joke. Look, I mean, that's the thing. It's kind of like what let's see what Travis Young said here. You know, the Saints, they were the butt of a lot of jokes with the paper bags, but a lot of people don't. A lot of people look at the Saints differently now after they won. After the Saints won their Super Bowl and they went on, they went on a tear. I mean, we gotta let's be real now. The Saints were legit for years, years, more than a decade. Like, I'd be like, dang man, we gotta play them Saints again. So it's one of those situations. This is the most creative name that I've seen on here tonight. I kicked my cheating girlfriend out of the house. They said, let's go. So they ready for the draft. Much love to you, man. Coach Wallace, he says, we're not drafting. No, I don't think we're drafting quarterback, bro. Out of your Falcon mind here says, Low, brother, thanks for coming on tonight with us. I'm exhausted, but we'll catch the replay tomorrow, bro. Appreciate you, man. Appreciate you. Y'all take care. Chuck's in here. He says, any players you would trade up for in this draft? I was just talking about Jack Campbell. I would trade back into the first round to get him before somebody else would. I feel like that would really take our defense to the next level. That would really take our defense to the next level. Body Bagum says, Bryce Young, another Kyler Murray. I feel like the difference between Bryce and Kyler, though, I feel like Bryce, he kind of stands in there a little bit more. Kyler, he just kind of, freestyles things to a certain extent. Skylar Thompson here says, what in the world, Bo? I hope the Panthers take, I would love it if the Panthers took Anthony Richardson. That would make my dreams come true. Look, I do need y'all to hit that like button if you're excited about the NFL draft, if you're confused like I am, trying to figure out why in the world the Atlanta Falcons aren't taken seriously, or your respective team, you just want them to play better. You need a way to express it. You can express it by hitting that like button for me. I promise you, I would definitely and greatly appreciate it, and I'll dance at your wedding one day. If you hit that like button for me, thank you so much. I thank you in advance. Coach Dre says, Coach Lowe, aka Beloved, I hope and pray and wish they don't get rid of my boy, my dog, Jalen, the ball hawking Hawkins. Come June 1st, though, beloved. Hello. I I hope they don't get rid of Jalen Hawkins because, like I said, you definitely want that safety depth. Like I was hoping that he would be that guy. Um, I was hoping that he would be that guy that we could, plug and play in our safety room. I mean, but it just wasn't working. There was sometimes he was just looking lost out there. Lost like a Chris Young song. For all my country fans, y'all might pick up on that one. But he was just looking lost, bro. Cornelius Whitner says, "What wideout do you think could be a number 2 wide receiver for us?" Man, you know what? The thing is that I feel like we got our number 2 wide receiver on the roster. I feel like that's one of the biggest reasons why we got Jonnu Smith because you know Kyle Pitts is probably going to get split out wide again, like he did his rookie year whenever he was his most successful. I feel like Kyle Pitts is going to be our wide receiver too, to the most for the most part. And I'm not even mad at it, bro. If we can run Kyle Pitts at wide receiver too, that would be perfect for me. But I mean, you never know. I mean, and then you got your Mac Hollins. He's a good possession receiver, and um, and you catch him in the right spot, especially like in a cover 3 situation. And if that safety makes the wrong decision and say it's a 1-on-1, I would take him in a jump ball situation 9 times out of 10. Because he's like 6'4", if I'm not mistaken. So he's a big boy. He could definitely high point the ball. And Drake and Kyle Pitts, they're gonna do their thing. Willie Doc, what's going on, Dr. Will? He says, what up, chat? What we talking about? Hope everybody doing well. Coach Will, we just talking about the Atlanta Falcons, and we just talking about what why is everybody sleeping on us, Coach Will? We all trying to figure that out because, you know, I've been seeing that, nobody's really taking us seriously. I guess we got to go out here and start kicking people in between the washing machine and the dryer to actually get taken seriously. Winston, he says, or Jalen High, he was talking about Tank Dell. I mean, both of those guys, and I think that's the luxury that we're in whenever we're taking like the best players available. You know, Tank Dell or Jalen High. I mean, they could definitely be possibilities, right? We're not going into the situation needing any particular guy, right? So I mean, that's something that you know, that's something that's definitely important. Dixon Way, he says 106 watching and only 64 likes. Smash that like button for this good content. I appreciate that, Coach Larry. Much love to you. Y'all make sure y'all check out. Right, y'all make sure that y'all hit that like button for us, bro. Make sure that you hit that like button for us. False Art Falcon says, could you imagine a Fred Warner type in RD? Man, boy. They put the sick emoji. Man, bro. Come on. Come on. You can't beat that, bro. Tony Wright in here, he says, it would be great for the National Football League if the Eights went 0-16 with 1 week left in the season and the fans come back to the Superdome wearing paper bags. Man, boy, I would love it. And if the Falcons played them the last week of the season, that would be great. Weston said Hollins, he's 6'4", 220 with speed and position flexibility. Started off at tight end. Yeah. Yeah. And he lives the barefoot lifestyle. Shouts out to Matt Hollins, my wide receiver in the barefoot lifestyle. I see you, Bo. I see you. Cornelius, he says, my thought is move Kyle wide receiver 2 and move CP to the slot and move Tyler to the starting running back. I mean, and that's definitely an option. You know, um, we talk about that whole BPA situation, and a lot of people are talking, and it's crazy that our Falcons fans just can't get along. we're arguing about Bijan Robinson. Um, first of all, Willie Dot, he says, "Can we stay under the radar? We can stay under the radar. It'll make winning that much sweeter." Hey, I look, winning gonna be sweet either way for me, Coach Will. Dun, dun, dun. That's a Superman chat. Appreciate that. Well, look, I'm sorry, Doctor Coach Will. There you go. There you go. But yeah. So it's like we go to this Bijan Robinson conversation, right? I see both sides like both arguments. It's like Bijan Robinson, they saying he's a generational running back, right? Tajay asked me how I feel. Man, I love me some Jameer Gibbs though. I him and Tyler Algier, that would be legit. But Bijan Robinson, it's like they're saying he could be the best running back coming into the league this year. Right. I mean, so like Brees Hall last year, scored the most touchdowns in NCAA history. They said he's better than that guy. Like, oof, that's legit. And then it's like you say, well, wait a minute, Tyler Algier, he got 1,000 yards last year. So why are we even having this conversation? And I see where everybody's coming from in that regard. And this is why I say, look, you just let Terry do what Terry does. Because to a certain extent, I can see what you're saying, like why we don't need Bijan Robinson, but I could also see a situation where it's like, hey, Tyler Algier got 1,000 yards last year, but do you plan on staying at the level that you're at? You could build on the strength, right? It's like Tyler Algier is good, but why just stay good when you could be great? Kind of, does that make sense? I mean, if we don't get Bijan Robinson, it's like I'm definitely cool with that. If we get Bijan Robinson, I'm definitely cool with that. It's like it just shows me what direction the team is going in moving forward. Because I mean, it's kind of like people are saying that he could be a Christian McCaffrey type of talent. We've seen what Christian McCaffrey did whenever he went to the San Francisco 49ers last year. Like that could have been a Super Bowl team. So I mean, it's one of those situations. Let's see here. JJ the Great, he says our fan base argue about everything. You can say the sky's blue, half the fan base will call you crazy. Hello. That is true. That is true. Dun, dun, dun. That's a Superman chat. But look, I ain't gonna lie to you, that is true. Um, you know, we do argue about anything. We need to just learn how to get along. Dad says, wild card is wild card wide receiver is going to be Scotty Miller. Yeah, look, Scotty Miller, he's a burner. He's a burner. But I mean, as far as this whole Bijan Robinson situation though, it's like, look, because somebody said, "Hey man, Tyler Algier, he's a power back." Somebody said that earlier in the chat. But Bijan Robinson, he can do it all. And why it's like they can coexist, but you could put somebody else in to, you know, just like I said earlier, I love Jameer Gibbs. I feel like Jameer Gibbs can do, he could do everything. That's Alvin Kamara 2.0. And we all seen how Alvin Kamara did, right? So it's just it's one of those situations. Antonio Holloway says, Coach Lowe, where do you think Will Levis and Richardson go? I think Will Levis is going to go to the. I feel like Will Levis is going to go to the Raiders. I think he's going to go to the Raiders. Richardson, I don't know. I can see Richardson going to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. In all honesty, I feel like they're not sold on Baker Mayfield, and you know they're trying to stay relevant I can see him going to the Buccaneers. We don't know. Speaking of Anthony Richardson, make sure that you check out the short that we just posted earlier tonight. I accepted the Anthony Richardson challenge. You know, I ain't gonna tell you what I did in the video, but you know, all I can tell you is that I did it better than Anthony Richardson. So you make sure that you check that short out. One time for the fans in here. What in the world, Bo? I see you in here. Shouts out to my homeboy Jack Spade, Bodie, Chase, all the mother boys, Boo Man. Much love to the one time for the fan boys. Right man in here, he says, I don't see the point of wasting a year or a second round pick on a unit. We're already great. And I understand that. I mean, the question is Tyler Algier great as of right now? Like, or is Tyler Algier good? That's the question. Like, is Tyler Algier great like a Christian McCaffrey? Is Tyler Algier great like a Jonathan Taylor was a couple of years ago? Or is Tyler Algier good? You know, those are two separate things, right? Body Bagum says it's not wasting a pick if you get a generational talent. Once again, it's like, but the question is Tyler Algier a generational talent, or is Tyler Algier just good? For example, Jamal Anderson, whenever, we had Dirty Bird Jamal Anderson, was he a generational talent or was he really good? That's the thing. Jamal Anderson captured the heart of the nation with the whole Dirty Bird craze, but like, was he like just generational? That's the thing. One time for the fans of the country. Did you hear about the quarterback out of Atlanta who could throw 80 yards on the run? Heard his name. Heard he might be quarterback 3. Some guy named Jack Spade. What? No, boy. You talking about Big Low Country. That's what you talking about. And I'm going to be quarterback 1. Total Right says, hey, Low, I noticed you keep saying Gucci Gang, Gucci Gang, Gucci Gang. Or Gucci Man, Gucci Man, Gucci Man. What's that? So there's this rapper called Lil Pump, right? And he had this song called Gucci Gang. And, as you know, I'm a hip hop savant, right? I listen to all the rap and hip hop and everything. So, I just feel like I'm just gonna go ahead and put it out there. I feel like his bars are elementary. Gucci Gang, Gucci Gang, Gucci Gang. But he was popular. So, everybody was on him. Everybody was talking about Lil Pump because, he was popular. Meanwhile, you got the kid over here who's not as popular, who, he can give you bars, but he's not popular. So I mean, it's and that's why I keep saying Gucci Gang, Gucci Gang, Gucci Gang. That's why I keep saying it. Body Bag said Tyler Algier had vision and cutting issues early on. He doesn't do anything special in my opinion. He just a big bruising back, and he was getting outplayed by Caleb Huntley and CP for a while. The thing about Tyler Algier is like he just has like great body positioning. He knows how to contort his body and get small, and to have people bounce off of him. And I'm going to tell you something. As the season progressed, his vision really really improved. So I mean, look, I ain't gonna lie to you. Um, I mean, I think Tyler Algier. I think he came in and did his thing, but if you put a strength with a strength with a guy like Bijan Robinson and Arthur Smith's running scheme, like you talk about something completely different. Then, like you're talking about, I mean, I would venture to say possibly Adrian Peterson. Well, I don't think he would get the Adrian Peterson type numbers because he's not getting that many carries. At most, I would see him getting like 17, 18 carries because Tyler Algier still got to get his carries as well. But yeah, I mean, it's one of those things. Shane Elliott says, "Come on, Big Low. Tyler only started 10 games, and became a 1,000-yard rusher. I believe if he started them other 7 games, he could have had 14. Yeah, I mean he could. I completely agree with you, Shane. And that's what I'm saying. So imagine like on those runs because there were a few runs where Tyler he just didn't have he just didn't have the pop to you know make those home run plays. Imagine if you would have had 6 plays where he would have got 60 yards instead of 25, and it would have changed the whole game. You would have been getting 6 points instead of 3. I'm, yeah, I mean, you gotta put that in consideration. MacTown Dirty says, how many teams with a generational running back have won championships lately? I mean, and you're right. I look back at it. So the Chiefs, with Pacheco, he was a good running back. He wasn't a generational guy, but um thing is that they had a generational quarterback. Then, Tampa Bay had Leonard Fournette. He was just a good running back. We thought he was going to be generational, but he was just a good running back. But you had Tom Brady. The Rams, they they had some guys from Southern Silk on there. Cam Akers, he just came back from the injury. But Matthew Stafford. So uh, all I know is that the 2 times before when we went to the Super Bowl, we had the best running game or one of the best running games in the league with Jamal Anderson and then with Tevin Coleman and Devontae Freeman. So I mean, Matt Ryan that Super Bowl year was just ungodly, just killing the game. But look, at the end of the day, I think we can all agree you have to have a balanced team, right? You have to have a balanced team. Rodman said the Seahawks. I mean, yeah, I can see the Seahawks. I mean, Marshawn, he was different. But yeah, Pacheco, you went crazy last year. Oh, baby. Everything you do so crazy. Yeah. He went in. He went in. Tony Wright says, also, Lo, since you hang out with Julio and his crew, you know the scene. What is the Burkhead bounce? And what is the Tootsie Roll twerk? What in the world? Tony Wright, what you talking about? You a fool, boy. Project Warriors in here says, what in the world, Bo? Joining you guys from the shower this evening. I totally agree. We're all being slept on. And these Panthers fans are mentally ill for thinking they could win the division with a rookie. It's been done. Division has been ran. Been won with a rookie before now. Like it's been done, but it's one. And whenever I say that the Falcons are going to win the division, I'm not saying we're going to win it by 3-4 games. I'm not saying that, but I do feel like as of right now, we're the most well balanced and best team in the league. Body Bagum says, generation. Yes, that's rare. You talk about generational. Let's think about it. Like, so who are some of the generational running backs? I would venture to say that Christian McCaffrey really isn't a generational running back because he hasn't consistently been healthy. So when I say generational running back, I'm talking about guys like Adrian Peterson, right? I'm talking about guys like, I would say Marshawn Lynch. Marshawn Lynch, he willed that Seattle Seahawks team to, putting the Saints out with the Beast Quake and things like that. Um, but Derrick Henry, he's looking like he's looking like he's trying to be a generational guy. But yeah, JJ Marshall Falk, Barry Sanders, um, yeah, AP. Those are generational guys, right? The Walter Paytons, the Emmett Smiths of the world. Those are generational guys. So they're saying Bijan is going to be. They're saying Bijan is going to be an Emmett Smith, Marshall Falk, Adrian Peterson. Now that's different, bro. That's different because they said that he graded better than the Ezekiel Elliott they say he graded better than um who else they say he graded better than? Zeke. I think they say he graded better than Jonathan Taylor, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, that's right. Eric Dickerson. Like they said he graded better than like almost all the guys that are in the league right now. So Atlanta Bird Game says, would you consider Derrick Henry generational? I gotta see him do it for a few more years, tidy, before I could consider him generational. I mean, 2,000 yard season. No, that's something that's been done a handful of times. But it's like, if that's the case, and this is a name that'll be like a blast from the past, Jamal Lewis would be considered a generational talent. He had a 2,000 yard season, but I just got to see him do it a little bit more. Dre True Statement says, I don't consider Marshawn generational. I mean, I can see that. Marshawn, he was really, really good, but yeah, I can see that. Yeah, Dre Harrison says they compare him Bijan to LaDainian Tomlinson. He was a generational guy. LaDainian Tomlinson. He was the true fantasy gold. But I mean, yeah, I gotta see Derrick Henry do it a little bit more. Maybe for like 1 or 2 more years, because that's one thing that we can say about those generational guys, like the Adrian Petersons, like the Emmett Smiths, the Damian Tomlinsons. Like, it wasn't just for like a 5 or 6 year span. Like, they did it for the better part of a decade. Yeah, so I mean, Jay Harrison says Steve Jackson was generational. He wasn't generational for the Falcons. Maybe for the Rams, but for the Falcons, he was. Yeah. it was rough. It was rough. Oh man. Shane Elliott, he says, but look at the schools that Bijan Robinson faced in college. Now, if he wants to put up them numbers in the SEC versus my Bulldogs, then I would say Bijan Robinson is that guy. I mean, and I definitely see where you're coming from. It's kind of like I was talking to Twisted Torch earlier today, and we were saying that it's also one of those cases where, you know, is he also a product of Steve Sarkisian? That's something we have to consider as well. Like, we've seen running backs, just kill it in college and kill it at certain places, until they go somewhere else. And, it's just not the same. If you don't believe me, ask them Shanahan boys, right? Ask Orlandis Gary and all of the running backs that Mike Shanahan just made Pro Bowl caliber players, and then they couldn't do anything anywhere else. So I mean, is it one of those cases where he's a product of that Steve Sarkisian that Steve Sarkisian offense? Ray Fitty said, "What about Frank Gore? Frank Gore, he was just consistent, man. You know, he was just consistent. Now, I mean, as far as like generational, like I felt like whenever he was at his peak, he was benefiting the most from Jim Harbaugh's system. They was running those unbalanced lines and everything. But generational, I just think he was really good for a long time. Oh, Thurman Thomas. Oh, man, he said, "Do you know who his backup was?" And who was Thurman Thomas's backup? Who was his backup? Well, the doc says, I just look at it as Bijan being the new Cordero, and that could be the case. It's almost like a lot of Falcons fans forget that Cordero, was initially a running back. I mean, was initially a wide receiver. So it's one of those things where it's like, hey, you know, everybody saying Cordero was, we're going to be taking carries away from him. Well, look, the last couple of seasons, so the season before last, Cordero phased out in the second half of the season. This past season, near halfway through, like I believe that's when he got his injury. He missed like 4 games. So it's like, I mean, we got to consider, it's like Cordell, he's on the downturn. He gave a lot of good carries to this team, but in the day he was a wide receiver. You know, so I mean, there are carries to go around. Yes, Barry Sanders, boy, Lord have mercy. That was a that was Barry Sanders done things on the football field we probably won't never see again, Tidy. Coach Wilder says, but we might not see that type of running back anymore. With just running that one back most of the game. Nah, it's a committee kind of situation now. But I mean, we know that the end at the end of the day is one of those situations where the the cream always rises to the top, right? So you can run that committee, but the better player is always gonna shine. Okay. Oh, so Barry Sanders was Thurman Thomas's. I did not know that. I didn't know Barry Sanders was Thurman Thomas's backup. You learn something new every day. Yeah, Austin Eckler. Yeah, he reminds me a lot of Thurman Thomas. That was my favorite player for a long time. I used to want the Buffalo Bills to win the Super Bowl so bad because I was a kid and I loved that exciting offense. I always rooted for the underdog. But yeah, I used to, man, boy, I used to love me some Thurman Thomas because he would do everything. He would do everything. Dre True Statement says, Coach, what player in the draft do you think is slept on, and who do you think is the most overhyped? Wow. Woo. What player I think is slept on? You know what? I'm gonna go ahead and put it on out here. I think Hendon Hooker is slept on. I know that he's 25 and he had that ACL injury and everything, but I mean, look, this is 2023. Like people come back from ACL injuries all the time. I think he slept on. As far as the most overhyped, man, that's a good one. I mean, I'm seeing mocks with Nolan Smith, and like I seen one today with him in the top 5. I'm sitting here like, top 5? That might be a little bit too high, Bo. Top 5, that's a little bit too high. Yeah, man, I can't pronounce this guy's name. Where's Alberto when I need him? But yes, he is slept on. Alberto, he actually did a video on him. But yeah, he is slept on. Rockman says this is our topic, but why is Jesse Tucker not in the Hall of Fame? Hey, it might go back to the whole non-popular situation, Coach. Falcons just weren't a popular team, you know. Falcons just weren't a popular team. Coach Wild says, Coach Lowe, that was in college when both of them went to Oklahoma State. Yeah, man. If y'all never had a chance to watch the Football Life with Barry Sanders, man, y'all need to watch that joint, man. That was really good. I really liked that. It really gave me a lot of insight on Barry Sanders. Oh yeah. Hendon Hooker. They say he'd be easy for if he wouldn't have got injured. But like I said, I mean, shoot, it's one of those situations where people have ACL injuries all the time. So I mean, I think he's underrated. Oh, Dre, you agree? What's going on? 7-7 says Hooker is too old. What do you see? You get, but no upside. I mean, you might be right. You might be right. Atlanta Bird Gangster. For those that's old enough to remember, Lawrence Phillips at Nebraska was unbelievably talented runner. Yeah, man. Rest in peace, Lawrence Phillips. So I wish he wouldn't have got distracted, man. He was people saying that he was gonna be a generational running back. Yeah, people said he was gonna be a generational running back. But look, man, I ain't gonna hold y'all up. I know it's around 11 o'clock. I do need y'all. Make sure y'all do a country boy a favor. Make sure that you hit that like button before you leave. Also, make sure that you share the channel. What'd you say, baby? And Coach Ronan said, make sure that y'all check out the short. Whenever you get finished watching this video, I had to accept the Anthony Richardson challenge. So Y'all get a chance to see how athletic old Big Low Country is. But look, we're definitely gonna try to link up sometime before the draft and chop it up to see what see if anything else happens in the meantime. I need y'all to stay safe. Please don't do anything that I would do. And look, we're gonna be linking up with y'all pretty soon, man. What in the world, Bo?